Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday, so it's time to talk horror. And our favorite horror topic right now, of course, is Halloween Ends, because it's the gift that keeps on giving, and boy do we have some news for you today. Direct from the creator of Michael Myers himself. So, let's jump right into it. So what exactly is this news? Well, the news, my friends, is that John Carpenter was on a podcast recently. And not just any podcast. No. You see, he was on the Charles Band podcast. Charles Band, that Charles Band, by the way, the one that does the whole full moon movies. Yeah, he has his own podcast now called Charles Band's Full Moon Creep Show. And his first guest, of course, was John Carpenter. And John Carpenter and him do a lot of talking. And you can find that podcast, by the way, on YouTube if you want to check it out. I'm not going to link it in our description, but you can find it anywhere. You can find it on places that you can find your podcast, I assume, but you can also find it, if not, on YouTube itself. So definitely check out the whole video. It's very interesting stuff. They spend a little bit of time reminiscing about how they know each other, but that's not what this video is about. Oh, no. This video is about the fact that he was asked about Halloween. And he had this to say, something that he said actually before. And if John Carpenter keeps repeating the same thing over and over and over again, maybe it's time we listen. And what was that he said? Well, friends, he said, and I quote, "As long as there's money, you will not see the end of Michael Myers." So, regardless of how Halloween ends, it will not be the end, because as long as Michael Myers is profitable, he will be back in some fashion. That means that we can speculate all we want about Michael Myers dying or not dying, but someone who knows the film industry as well as John Carpenter, and the fact that he also created the character in question, is telling you point blank that as long as the money is there, he will be back. So we can take that to the bank. That is a done deal. Regardless of how they choose to bring Michael Myers back, all the naysayers out there who insist that Halloween will in fact end forever, I'm sorry to report, you're wrong. And hold up now. Why would I do this video and not give you any more examples of times that we've heard it was the final? Well, let us not forget that Friday the 13th had a final chapter. And it wasn't the final chapter. The money talked, and they allowed Jason Voorhees to step back into your lives. Although, I will say this, when we first saw Jason Voorhees come back, it wasn't exactly Jason Voorhees. Remember that part 5 was a new beginning. New beginning meant new killer. And, hey, whatever, right? Because that movie taught us one thing. Friday the 13th, without Jason Voorhees, just doesn't work. And regardless of how I feel about that movie, because I actually rather like The New Beginning, it's not Friday the 13th. It doesn't feel like it is. It feels like there's this great big Jason-sized gap in the movie, because there is. And that's exactly how I think people would feel if they did a Halloween film without Michael Myers. Oh, wait, they did. It was called Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Critically panned at the time, cult classic now, and not that bad of a movie, but don't say that too loud. Because a lot of fans have mixed feelings about that movie. It didn't have Michael Myers, so it's not a real Halloween film. And that's kind of how it is with the New Beginning and Jason Voorhees. It doesn't have Jason in it, so it's not a real Friday the 13th film. But that's not the only example. Remember that Friday the 13th wasn't the only one. There was also another big slasher at the time, Freddy Krueger, who had a final nightmare. It was called Freddys Dead. Wait. So it's supposed to be Freddys Dead? So Freddy died. But then he was brought back. Although be it, he was brought back into the real world. And it wasn't as popular as the movie. It had, again, that mixed bag feel. Because it didn't feel like the Nightmare on Elm Street that we were used to. And then all of a sudden, he gets to fight Jason Voorhees. And while that movie could have been better, a lot of people really do like that movie. Because it brought back both characters in the capacity that they were supposed to be to fight each other. And that's not all. You see, when you're dealing with something like Halloween, you're going to have to realize that Halloween 3 didn't feel like Halloween 3 without Michael Myers, so guess what? Michael Myers coming back doesn't seem so far-fetched now, does it? The creator of the actual character said it, and numerous other reports have said that as long as the money's good, they'll try to make a sequel in some capacity. Now, I don't want a remake. I've heard a lot of people talk about a remake, and I don't want another remake. I don't care if you leave Laurie Strode out of the remake. I don't care if you leave all the characters out of the remake and just make some brand new thing. That don't sound good to me. I've heard a couple people saying that in other places, and it doesn't sound good to me to have a movie that never had Laurie Strode in it. I want the movie to have Laurie Strode in it. So you kind of have to have Michael go forward, or you have to recast Laurie Strode. And recasting Laurie Strode is strictly out of the question. So we kind of have to find a way that we can go forward. If not forward, then backwards minus Laurie Strode. Maybe Laurie Strode wasn't always around. Oh, yeah, she wasn't. Because Halloween 4, she wasn't there. Halloween 5, there was no Laurie Strode. So there were some spots where Laurie Strode wasn't. Halloween 6, was there a Laurie Strode? You see, there's plenty of places we can go within this new timeline where maybe Laurie Strode wasn't important or didn't exist. I'd rather go to those places if we have to visit the past than I would to go to a whole new remake of the entire series. And maybe that's just me. But then we're going to talk a little bit about some news that I've heard, because I have heard some news about Halloween recently. Several sites and things are reporting that the Glass Hill thing that they had, that place they were going to transfer Michael Myers to in the 2018 movie, that is going to actually play a bigger part, because that's going to be a breeding ground for our new characters, if you will. So we get to see some new characters develop. Now, if you want to talk spin-off, if you want to talk about the possibility of going another place, then Glass Hill might be it. And that's okay, because as long as you're having Michael Myers be a part of the narrative, maybe that's a good thing. I don't think we're getting a spinoff with it, though. I've heard that rumor in other places, and I don't think that's going to happen either. I do like the idea of it playing a bigger part in the franchise, at least for now. So we'll see where that goes. And then the other rumor that I've heard is that Haddonfield's supposed to be some sort of ghost town where a lot of people have left over the past year. And people are saying that there's a group of people that have stayed. And I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a sure thing that a bunch of people did leave. I mean, if you had a serial killer going after a particular person, wouldn't you leave too? I know I would. I'd get in that car and I'd be gone. I'd go over someplace else, next town over, 2 towns over, maybe even 3. I'd be on that plane and gone, okay? Good time to take a trip to Hawaii or something. Get out of that town, because whenever this goes down, you don't want to be there. And, you know, people moved out, they left, and the town's kind of gone to crap, I guess. I don't know. However they play that is however they play that. They said the pandemic is going to be a part of the movie. I think that the idea that the pandemic came and went is in the movie. I don't think we're going to see them still going through it at all. There's probably a mention of, oh, we went through this pandemic after having a serial killer return and everything's bad. And we need to not have things be bad. So that's the rumors I've heard. That's the things that I wanted to talk to you today about. Do you take what John Carpenter, the creator of Michael Myers, says to heart? Do you believe that we will in fact see Michael Myers again because the money is talking? Leave us a comment letting us know what you think. Do you think that John Carpenter has a point? Do you think it's the ramblings of someone who's not in charge anymore? Let us know about the other theories we talked about and what you think about them. We want to know. Also, make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends so they're getting the same great content you're getting. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Miko says we need more subscribers, and I tend to believe him. This face, this one right here, wouldn't lie to you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And at the end of the day, friends, don't forget, fandom is family.